happening? Here I am on Super Bowl Sunday. I know you're not hearing it on Super Bowl Sunday, but here we are. We're at the end of this debacle. It's officially going to be over. I can't wait. Did you hear about the new bet, everybody? Did you hear about the new bet? I saw this on Instagram. How real it is, I don't know. You guys know, Green Bean here does not gamble, except a little tiny bit here and there. I don't. I do not gamble. I don't scratch. I don't bet. I can't do anything because I'm a freak. And as soon as I make one bet, I want to make 10. That's just the way it goes. I bet $10. I immediately think I can make that 1,000 real easy. So clearly I'm betting. I think I can win the bet. That's how it goes. So, but the bet is, you tell me if it's real, that you can actually put money on whether or not this is the game. This is the day that the aliens will come and visit us in the Super Bowl. I mean, maybe by the time this is out, it happened. But I don't know. I think that's crazy. I think we're getting nuts. I think we're getting a little loose in the caboose, if you know what I'm saying. This is getting a little weird out there. But hey, why the hell not? If you got it's two sides to the coin, right? We're getting crazy. Anywho, guys, this is episode 149 of Green Bean's Jets Pod. I am happy you are here. It's going to be fun. Today, we're going to talk about a few things, namely Woody Johnson's all over the joint. We'll deconstruct some of this stuff a little bit. I have some opinions that maybe haven't been shared. There's a lot of focus on some specific aspects. We'll talk about all of it, but I want to segue his comments into something else, and we'll talk about that. Is this the year that the New York Jets should just forego any semblance of thinking about the future? No consideration about what's coming. Just get it done now at all costs. Is it the year that we do that? The last time we saw this kind of thinking, we got into the AFC Championship game, so why not? You know what I mean? Maybe if we have Aaron Rodgers, when we get there, we can get in. We can get in at the Super Bowl. Maybe, just maybe. So we'll talk about that. Is it smart? Is it not? Our GM currently has done a very, very good job of not thinking that way. So there's somewhat of a leap of faith, of thinking to get us to the idea that he'll, mortgage the future for the present. I mean, who knows? And we'll talk about it in a way that balances out what we're trying to accomplish. Does it make sense to do that? You look at teams that have done it and what they had in place already. Did it make sense? The Jets historically like to try to use the mortgaging of the future to create the foundation. Maybe not the best way to go about it, but do we have enough? Do we have enough that signing over a little refinancing of the mortgage? Is this the year to do it? We'll talk about that too, and we will get into all that in just a moment. I want to ask you guys a few very, very simple things. One, don't forget to hit the milk thumbs for us, man. That is the thumbs up button. It is greatly appreciated. YouTube responds to that. It helps us a great deal, but even more so, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. That is a great thing that helps me incredibly. I want to tell you guys about a few other things. Don't forget about the Talkin' Jets Network, the Talkin' Jets channel right here on YouTube. Guys, it is exploding. We have all kinds of new shows. Ryan and Dom C together on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Tigo and myself together Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. And Matt O'Leary and Jets Chaos together at 3 p.m. on Thursdays, in addition to the Talkin' Jets panel Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. We are rocking it. And don't forget about this big one, the Monday night 10 o'clock mock with Dom C and myself right here on Green Bean Jets Fam. We had an absolute blast last week for the first show of the 2024 season. This is the fourth year we're doing it, second year with Dom C as the co-host, and it's a good time, man. We had a blast. And we're going to have an even better time this week. I hope you can join us. Guys, one last thing. If you're looking to save a little bit of money on this stuff right here, the Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier. This is the best hydration on the market right now. The old way of plastic bottles with multicolored juices, it's kind of out, man. It's kind of the thing of the past. This is the way to do it. Maybe not this flavor in particular, maybe something like this. This is more my speed, that one. And I like the lemon lime. I'm a lemon lime straight up, man. I'm old. I don't like anything newfangled. My son, he likes, all kinds of frost. Frost. I'm not drinking frost. I'm a lemon lime, orange. Like, that's the way I go. But you can save yourself 15% on Liquid IV by using the promo code GreenBeanJetsFan. The link is in the description of this very video. You can go ahead, click on there, save 15% across the board on your entire order by using that promo code and get yourself the best hydration multiplier on the market today. There you go, everybody. So let's break into this. We'll jump right in. Jumping right in. Don't dip your toes and torture yourself, ankles, knees in the pool. No, just run and jump in. It's over in a few seconds. Whatever it is, hot, cold, just get it done. Jump in. It's better. And let's do that with the news of the week. Good news, bad news, I'll tell you. The New York Jets, no matter what it is, are just always in the news, man. It doesn't matter what the hell's going on. The Jets have found a way to be one of the worst teams in the league, one of the most disappointing teams in the league this year. We did muster up 7 wins. We got ourselves to kind of that middle ground. But let's be honest, it was a disappointing season, to say the least. But somehow, in all the hubbub about Taylor Swift flying to Japan and marriage proposals potentially and the Super Bowl itself and Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold, all the stuff, the Jets have found a way to have 2 big stories and a half. Wait, here we go. 2.5 major stories during this 2-week Super Bowl window when it's not supposed to be about the shit teams. Did you hear anything about the Panthers? No. Did you hear anything about anybody else? No. The Bears got first round picks up the wazoo. The best we heard is, they're thinking about trading Justin Fields. Yeah, no, duh. Right? So the Jets, on the other hand, we had the whole article we talked about that a lot last week. We don't have to get too much into that. I will say Aaron Rodgers has done another Joe Rogan podcast this week. I'm about 50% into it. So far, no drama, man. Nothing about this article yet. Maybe that's coming. I don't know. They usually do about 3 hours or so. I'm about an hour and 20 minutes or so into it. But it's more about, they talked about the injury, which is interesting, like how to come back. Joe Rogan is more interested in the athletics of it all, not necessarily the football aspect, but the sports, the athleticism. So they talked a little bit about the Achilles thing, the what am I doing here? The tube, the thing. So the surgery itself, how he plans to come back, what the difficulties are, what the kind of indicators are that he's on his way back, those kinds of things, milestones, and they went into other athletics. They talk about the pyramids. They're talking about the all kinds of political stuff. It's quite fascinating, but no drama unless you just disagree with what he's saying politically or something like that. Then you're gonna Aaron Rodgers should just shut up and play football. Maybe. Anyway, so that's out there too, not causing so much of a stir, but who knows? We got other stories, so maybe they're just waiting a little bit to make a big deal about this one. How dare he talk about the pyramids and Tartaria, the Tartarian Empire? So we'll see. But the big one is this. Woody Johnson at the NFL Honors Awards show, there with his wife and kids, looking like he's just a night out on the town, gonna have some champagne, maybe some caviar, right? Everyday snacks like caviar. They're gonna go do that, but nope, Woody can't shut his face. And anybody who's anybody, like as far as journalists go, If you want to get a gotcha comment from an NFL owner, just ask Woody Johnson a couple questions. He has very little ability to kind of just walk the line. He just can't. He can't do it. He loves being out front. He bought the Woody necklace, the whole thing. So he said a few things. The first one, really, that we'll talk about is, and you've heard this a lot this week, which is Woody's mad. Now, look, I tried to get an angry picture of Woody Johnson. It's like impossible. I looked everywhere. I scoured. The worst you can get of Woody Johnson is like just deadpan. That's about it. He's never a Bill Belichick like. There's none of that out there for Woody Johnson. So you got, look at this. They made a they had to add fire to his face because there's just no way to find a Woody Johnson pick that's angry. I mean, who is this again? Let me see. I want to give them credit. I want to give them credit. Oh, it's Clutch Points. There you go. Clutch Points made this picture fantastic. You really got to hand it to the editor of this thumbnail, this photo, if you will. I mean, how incredible is that? I mean, you can barely tell that's not really coming out of his mouth. I mean, that's amazing. Well done. Well done. It's very, very believable, very realistic photo of Woody Johnson breathing fire on the three guys: Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, and Aaron Rodgers. Woo! They should have put Zach Wilson in there because let me tell you, it was not a lot of love for him from Woody. I'll tell you that much. So anyway, let's take a look at what he said here. So he says, the discussions I've had in the last couple of months, they've seen me about as mad as I can be. Roar! With what was going on with the offense particularly. Good. Can we just bring out the pink elephant for gosh darn it? You know what I mean? The offense. That's what we're talking about. Stop it already with everything else. We've got all this talent, and we've got to deploy talent properly, Woody says. I think they all got the message. This is it. This is the time to go. We've got to produce this year. We have to produce this year. All right. What do you make of that? So the first thing everybody says usually is, that means playoffs are busted. We draw conclusions, right? Well, they asked him that because the guy interviewing also drew that conclusion. And, he asked him, he says, well, I'm not a playoff mandate guy. You know me. But we have to do a lot better than 7 games. Hello? Johnson said that to us. Okay, great. We have to do a lot better than win 7 games. We have to, definitely. All right. That's good. That's good stuff. So, I've seen a lot of stuff all over the place. Some people saying he should shut up, like I just did. There are people that are saying, good, put everyone on notice. There are people that are saying words are words. Why is everybody still here? You're saying all this stuff, but Saleh's safe. Keith Carter's safe. Hackett's safe. JD is safe. So what does it really mean, right? It's a bunch of lip service. I don't know. I'll tell you what I think about it is I don't think Woody needs to say this stuff out loud, like in public. I'm a big fan of just keeping it in. I really do believe that. You say the things you need to say outward, and inside you let the emotions fly and whatever you got to do. But when you walk out front, you put on your pro face and you say the right things. I believe in that. So I don't think Woody, you don't need to do that. But take all that out. Good. You know what I mean? At this point, man, it's just like, I don't care. The last time the Jets were in the playoffs, my beard was not white. Okay? That's the truth of the matter. The last time the Jets were in the playoffs, I was living in South Florida. Dude, I have a 2-year RV road trip. I have 5 years in Virginia before that. Like, I've been here almost 2 years again in the woods and rural. Like, my life is so different. I don't even think I had a daughter. I didn't have a daughter. I had one kid. Like, it's the craziest thing. At this point, whatever, man. You know, and that's kind of where I sit. Yeah, maybe he should shut up again. But, you know, who cares? Whatever. Put these guys on notice. I'm paying you millions of dollars and you suck. Joe Douglas has won 27 games. Robert Saleh has won less. You know what I mean? It's like, it's gross. It's gross. And it's all on the offense. The defense, man... Take this defense, put this defense with any top 10 offense in the NFL, and they're being lauded as potentially among the greatest defenses of all time. I don't feel like I'm being a homer or I'm going out for that great of a stretch to say that. Look what they're doing with hot garbage on the other side of the ball. So it's good. It's good that he's saying it. Again, I think afterwards he's probably like, man, I probably shouldn't have said all that. You know, maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's so disconnected. What does he care? He's a billionaire. Billionaires, I've come to the conclusion they don't care about anything. That's just what I think. Money and that's it. Money and you know, status and woody necklaces and stuff. So he was also asked, you know, how close do you think you are with Aaron Rodgers? He said, yeah, I think we can close it with Aaron Rodgers for sure. We've got a very good defense. If we could do anything on offense, we went games without scoring a touchdown. That's absolutely incredible. Thank you, dude. Like, can we please just acknowledge the fact that the words, the actual words, man, this is what we have been saying for 2 years. Since the entire Zach Wilson era, really. This wasn't supposed to be a Zach Wilson year, and I suspend a tad of my judgment, right? A tad. Not all of it, because this is not the plan I had. But I do suspend a little bit with the fact of, okay, you got $37 million with Aaron Rodgers, you got $11 million with Gary. I understand maybe not wanting to go out and spend $6, $8, $10 million on a backup quarter. I get it. And Aaron Rodgers is healthy, so I'll suspend a little bit. I will. But the entirety of the Zach Wilson era, with 2 offensive coordinators, myriad offensive linemen, running backs, wide receivers, everybody, it's been the same. We can't score. We can't score. Even games we won, man, like the Eagles game was 5 field goals, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy. 4 turnovers. I believe 3 were in there. Like, well, I think they were definitely on their side of the field, but even like the 30, 20-yard line, like close to the red zone, we couldn't get there. So it's funny to me. We went games without scoring a touchdown. That's absolutely incredible. Like, you know what? It's probably more difficult. There should be some accolades here. Because it's probably more difficult to do that on a consistent basis. Like, actually have talent and try and still suck this bad for that long. There's got to be an award. You're like, you know what? It's like the whole 0-16 thing. Dude, there are less 0-16 teams than there are undefeated team. I think there's the same, right? Like you got that, well, season-wise anyway. You got the Dolphins, you got the Patriots. I think there's only 2 undefeated winless teams. That's how hard it is to do that. It's so hard to win none. When you do it, you should get like, you know, like somebody like Checkers should come in and give everybody free fries. You know, they're just so bad. There's a free fry award. If you suck this, like something should be said, because that's not easy to do. It's absolutely incredible in Woody's words. And look at this comment. This is beautiful to me. Okay. This is a beautiful comment. He goes, well, what do we need? This is what I've been saying the whole time. I got into it with Gunny on the Thursday Thick of It this week. Not got into it. We had a debate. about this. And Gunny was sharing that he's nervous. He feels like the wheels are falling off. The rats are leaving the ship, a sinking ship, all those things. Or Chad Alexander, Fire Rex Hogan, all right? So it can seem that way. The article. But I'm like, what do we really need? I'm telling you right now, in many games last year that we lost, if we just had an average quarterback, we win those games. That's how close those games were. And definitely in 2022. I mean, we had 6 one-score losses. 6! And we were no touchdowns. Like, it's just crazy. Like, if we would have had a Jacoby Brissett, we're a 9-win team without batting an eyelash. Without batting an eyelash. If everything was the same, just take Zach or Tim Boyle, put them over here, and take Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, Ryan Tannehill, whoever. 9 wins, no question. No question. Atlanta, the Raiders, you know what I mean? Like, give me a break. Give me a break. So this is what Woody says to this. What do we need? We have Garrett Wilson. We got Breece Hall, right? We got a number 1 wide receiver, electric, dominant stud. We got arguably a Tommy. He thinks he's the best running back in the league, right? He made his list. Did you see the Breece Hall list? Good for him, man. Good for you, Breece Hall. But at minimum, I say, if you get an offensive coordinator that realizes he's talented, which is new because he didn't know till the Giants game. This is great news. I got a running back. If we get a guy that just goes, you know what, Breece Hall, we're committing to him as our workhorse, as our bell cow. He's going to be top 5 without question. If he, assuming health, right? He remains healthy. I can't help it. I'm knocking on wood. You might not hear it. I'm like, everything I say, I knock. I'm like, I got 3 different woods right here. All kinds of woods. I got a bench. I got tables. I got Manscaped brushes. I got all kinds of. I'm scared. I'm a superstitious fella. So we got Garrett Wilson. We got Breece Hall. We got AVT. We got Joe Tippmann. You think you need a guard at least? This isn't thinking out loud. Right? We need a guard. Maybe another guard. It's so funny. But think about that. How much does he really know? He says you got Tippmann. You got AVT. You might need a guard. And another guard, you know what he's saying there? AVT, they're talking about AVT being the tackle, everybody. That's what he's got cards in his hand. He's going, you know what I mean? He's just talking. He's waving his cards around. And a good poker player is like, all right, he's got an ace, a king. I see. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, that's what's happening. That's so telling. Either he's lost and doesn't know what guards are, or he's telling us that there is very, very realistic planning, thinking behind the AVT to tackle idea. And think about that. That changes shit, guys. You can go get a Zeitler from the Ravens, plug that Laken Tomlinson spot. You know what I mean? You got Tippmann, you re-signed Connor McGovern. There's 2 guards right there, but very easy to get a guard in the third, something like that. I'm telling you. And you can get really like mid-level average, like solid, not dominant, but solid guards in free agency for $6 million. Right? $8 million. Totally. $8 million. But it's chump change. I got $8 million floating around here somewhere. But so let's continue this amazing comment. This is the best. Is this not? There's so much. This is like somebody handing you a tomahawk ribeye. There's so much there. Just pick it up. There's just so much to work on with a tomahawk. A bone-in ribeye, baby. That's what Woody's given us. I think you need a guard at least. You need another guard, maybe a couple tackles, and a receiver. What else you need? Oh my God. This is the greatest interview of all time, guys. He's already talking about, being pissed. That's as mad as I've ever been, and they know it's now or never. Well, how far are we away, really? We got G-Dubs, we got Breece the Beast, I got Tippmann over here, I got little AVT over there. What do I need? A wide receiver, a guard, another guard, a couple tackles? By the way, by that estimation, by that math, he needs 4/5 of the offensive line because he needs a guard, another guard, and a couple tackles. It's the best. It's the best. The numbers aren't there. And maybe he needs a backup tackle. Because, like, look, if you're moving AVT to tackle, which I don't love, but maybe if he just plays there and only there, it's a different story. But, man, all I know, and again, people, you have these arguments, and it's hypothetical and all this stuff, and I don't know. I'm not an athletic trainer. But I'm just going to tell you, 2 years in a row, he's playing well at guard. We move him to tackle, he gets hurt. I don't know. I'm just saying. Superstitious. Got 3 woods. So I don't know. But it may be if that's what he's talking. So you just look at it, though. It's like if you're moving AVT to tackle, right? If by Woody's comments here. And what do you need? A guard? What do I need? A guard? Maybe another one? You re-sign Connor McGovern, even if he's depth at center, right? You re-sign that guy. And then you're going to bring in Zeitler, just as a name, right? Just as a name. It was a good name, but so you bring that guy in. Now, that's another guard, right? You got a guard, you got another guard over here. So you bring that, so you got AVT at tackle, you got Tippmann at center, you got Zeitler, right? Or Connor McGovern at center and Tippmann at guard, whatever. And then you get it Funga in the draft, or maybe it's Joe Walt slips to you for Shanu, right? Some one of these guys. And you just start, you bring back Wes Schweitzer, you got Carter Warren, got Max Mitchell developing maybe, and I don't know. But okay, what do we need? Really? We're done. Get a couple backups, use your 4th on another tackle over here. You make a trade or you sign Tyler Boyd in free agency, give him $10 million. Done. You know what I'm saying? You use your 2nd, 4th, if not on a quarterback like Travis out of Florida State. You go get my guy from UVA right down the street, Malik Washington. I don't know if the Jets are going to like another 5'9" guy, but boy, oh boy. What do we need? What do we need? It's the best. Woody's the best. So the other thing quickly, he talked about the grass, which is good to hear him talk. It sounds like Woody's kind of open to the idea of grass, but they've run into some very serious things. Now, don't forget, back in the 90s, I think it was, with the tray system in Giant Stadium, it looked like it was a solution, then it was a big mess. So they've tried stuff. He's saying, dude, it's just not an issue. So what he says is we discuss it at least once a week. Once a week, grass comes up for Woody. He's like, God, we're talking about grass again? What we can do and how we can do it. You know, MetLife is the busiest stadium in the world. Is it? Really? Oh, okay. So how do we do it? If we could do grass, if I had a tray or something, because you want to make sure grass is safe in November, December, January as turf. Mud and rocks and all that can be dangerous. He's right. If there's rocks in there, you know, maybe you can, maybe just maybe you can get the dirt, take the rocks out, Woody. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a dirt guy specialist, but I imagine you can control that to some degree. It's like, I don't know, man. The dirt we got is filled with rocks. Everybody's getting all cut up. I don't know. But the World Cup's coming. They're demanding grass. I really hope that they figure it out to keep the grass. The turf is garbage. The turf that we have is terrible. 15 season-ending injuries on the MetLife turf so far. It's just, it's blood. It's the worst stadium as far as injuries go with the turf in the league, from what I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And he says it's going to get beat up. You're going to have to change it. And then when you put grass down every couple of weeks or every month, it's very spongy. It's a different deal. When we did it for soccer last time, your foot kind of dug in. I'm not sure they're going to like it. I'm not sure the guys are going to like it. They like the slippery rubber balls better. That's what they like. So anyway, there it is. There it is. But let's take a second and take one of his things and open it up briefly. Okay? Briefly. Maybe not so brief. I can't shut up. Maybe not so brief. And let's do this. Let's take this one sentence from Woody and get into the intelligent gripe. All right. So the comment I want to talk about, notice I didn't talk about the backup quarterback thing or anything. This is what I want to talk about. We'll bring this comment back up. And he says, we've got all this talent and we've got to deploy it properly. I think they all got the message. This is it. This is the time to go. This is the time. Not next year. We're not drafting for the future, Joe Douglas. We've got to produce this year. We have to produce this year. Now, I don't know if he meant to say that twice or what, or if he's emphasis, but he wants you to know this is it. This is the time to go. So, can we entertain the idea that it is the appropriate mindset to take resources from the future, whether that be pushing salary to the future, where, if you're not aware, the way it looks right now, the Jets have over $100 million in salary cap planned for 25-26, each of those years. Everything's going to change. It'll adjust and all that. If you want the actual numbers, go talk to Ryan from Jets Talk. That's not me. That's not my forte. But I do know that to be factual. So we can absolutely design these contracts and extend and or restructure. CJ Mosley needs to be restructured. He's getting $21 million. They paid him the full $21 million last year, and it's not even guaranteed. So you gotta work it with CJ Mosley. I don't know exactly how, but Over the Cap seems to think you can get his cap number down to 10 point. What is it? I think they can get it down to about $10 million. Okay, already. $10 million. So from 21 to 10 million, that's 11 million. You want to extend DJ Reed, in my opinion. You can work on Conklin, who they messed with his contract last year. I don't know to what degree we can, but I think you want to do that. And then maybe some other guys. You can kind of move stuff around, make it beneficial for them, front load it to prorate it over the years. You know what I mean? You can do all that kind of stuff. Start doing that stuff. Take from your future sound. Now, Joe Douglas, I applaud, right? He came in, it was garbage. Mike McCagnon's contract. Joe Douglas's first 3 years, he was dealing with dead cap from Quincy Enunwa, Le'Veon Bell, so many guys, Kelechi Osemele, those kinds of guys. He was paying for those guys for like 2 or 3 years. So he's done a good job of not mortgaging the future, of kind of getting everything penned into an appropriate place monetarily, salary cap wise. He's shown that his team can be creative and move money around and create space where he needs it. He did it last year. We thought he was going to have to cut Carl Lawson and Cesar, all these guys. He didn't cut anybody that he didn't want to cut. Now, maybe they could have, because why pay the guy and never play him? So there's that. But anyway, so there's a lot that he can do monetarily. Now, what would that lead us to? That would lead us to free agency, right? So can we actually think maybe of opening up the cupboard, stop with the frugal thinking for this period of time, the 1 to 2 year window that we have with Aaron Rodgers? Look, dude, like it, don't like it, like him, don't like him, like his politics, don't like his it doesn't matter. He's here. We invested. We committed. The truth is that he's an exceptional quarterback. He gives us every reason to believe that his work ethic would have him come back better than ever. He's a motivated guy. When kind of spited or done wrong, he responds very well. Most recently, when the Packers drafted Jordan Love in the first round, he responded with 2 back-to-back MVP performances. So we have every reason to believe he's going to come back good. Now he's 40. Achilles injury, concerns, sure. But there's every reason to believe that he's the type of guy that would give you the best chance to come back well enough to be the Aaron Rodgers that we hope he can be. So you go into this and you say, I don't care what the future holds. I don't care about, making sure that in 2026 we're okay. Dude, it's 2024, 2025. So what does that mean? What do we need? We need linemen. We need wide receivers. So what do you do? Now, make this simple. We're going to have all kinds of videos as we go into free agency. I'm going to talk in detail about the free agents I think that we should be bringing in. But let's just say hypothetically, you want to go and grab the big fish. So you go and you get Jonah Williams. Now, are you going to overpay more than maybe you'd like to pay for a guy of his caliber? Sure. Spot Track is saying that his value, his market value, is approximately $11 million a year. Not too bad. If you got to pay a little bit more because 5 teams are offering him 11, you pay him 13.4. Go ahead and get it done. Do it. Front load it. Give it lots of bonus action. Spread it over 4 years. Whatever you got to do. Again, I think you should go out and get a guard like a Zeitler. Save the $13 million or so by cutting Lake and Tomlinson. And there you go. You start doing that with your offensive line. What about wide receiver? Well, I think a lot of the big names that are out there, technically speaking, right now, Mike Evans, T. Higgins, those guys are going to be gone, in my opinion. They're not going to make it to market. That's my thought. But a guy or two that are going to be Tyler Boyd, who's fantastic, by the way. Fantastic wide receiver. Averages about 650 a year. Few touchdowns, yards, that is. Great guy to bring on as a number 2. And you can just pay him. He's looking at, I think his market value was $8 million a year. Let's see what it was again. So, yeah, $8.7 million. Spot Track is saying. So you can get Jonah Williams and Tyler Boyd from the Bengals for approximately $19 million. I say you do that and you don't look back. Now, are we done? No, you go grab a Calvin Ridley. You overpay him a little bit too. Bring these guys in here. Dangle the Aaron Rodgers. Dangle the extra $1 million. And you do that. Now, there could be different players. Again, we're going to talk more in depth about free agency in a little bit. Not in this video. We're talking about the overarching theme here. Do you pay a little bit more to ensure that the guys that you want in here get here? Okay, there's the thinking. Joe Douglas, historically speaking, has not done that. The way he says it is, we're aggressive to the point of being reckless. Okay, maybe a little bit of reckless. Maybe Woody's comment, it's now. Maybe that means, hey, a little reckless is in order. But what does that mean with the draft? This is the crazy one. Now, there's a concern going into all this that Joe Douglas is essentially a lame duck, right? If it doesn't work this year, he's out, Salah's out. So would they allow him to utilize future draft assets for this year? I don't know. Now, would Joe Douglas just throw caution to the wind, go, I'll give you the next 2 years first just to move up for alt? Something like that? I don't think so, because he's not going to want to show another team, even if he gets fired. He's not going to want to show another team, hire me on the way out, I'm going to screw you for 2-3 years. He's not going to do that. He's still going to be within what's realistic. But that said, do you consider utilizing next year's first-round pick to arguably, potentially get a second and third this year? Could you do that? Could you maybe use your first to let's look at maybe the Washington Commanders, who have 2 seconds and 2 thirds. As you know, they traded some guys, Montez Sweat, among Young. So they made some trades during the season. They gained some picks. Maybe they want to take that second and third and parlay that into a future first round pick. And historically speaking, the Jets first is a good one to bet on. We're up top more than we're not. Can we just admit it, right? Now, we're hoping we win some Super Bowls and get to the playoffs, but hey, it just doesn't seem to happen. 13 years straight, we just can't seem to muster it up. The latest our pick was in the last 13 years was after the 2015 season. The 2016 draft, we had the 23rd pick. So that's about as bad as it gets. We've seen us at 13, which we traded for 15. We've seen us at 11, right? We've seen some of those. But, we also had the 23rd pick. Interesting, when we had, but that was because of Seattle. So the AVT pick was 23 that we traded up. So, but that was because of Seattle, Jamal Adams, and all that. So when it's a Jets pick, it's a good one to bet on. That chances are it's going to be a top 10, top 15 at worst pick. So maybe they will do that. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to say, hey, we have a top 10 pick right now. We have no second. We have 1/3. So we could potentially trade next year's first, gain, I think, let's see where Washington has pick 36 and 40 in the second round, and they have pick 67 and 101 in the third round. So you say, hey, I'll give you next year's first and Zach Wilson. You give me something like that. And you give me pick 36 and 101, or 40 and 67. That would give us pick 40, 67, 72. You could take 67, 72, bounce up into the second. You could take 40 and a fourth and jump into the first. Whatever you want to do. And now you start talking about bolstering this year's team. Maybe there's wide receivers that are not going to make it to the third. There's a lot of guys that we like, the McConkeys, the Rices of the world, that you might want to bring on the team that are not going to be there in the third round. Could be, but that's a lot to bet on. So are you willing to make it so this is the year they pull from the future, both monetarily and draft asset wise? And that's just one example of something that you could do. You could take next year's second and make it a third for this year and potentially use the 2/3 to get up into the second, something like that. You could do this sort of stuff. Do you do it? Is it the right time to do it? Woody seems to think it just might be. He's had it. He's just about at the end of his tether with the Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh era. You better make it happen now, kids, because if you don't, you're all out. I'll throw the baby out with the bathwater. Aaron Rodgers, you're out too. Everybody's out. That's what he's going to do. Everybody out of here. I'm hiring Green Bean and Dom C and Matt and Ryan and all the guys, and they're going to come in here. It's going to get it right for once. We're just going to get it right for once, and then we'll see how it goes. But what do you do? What do you do? Do you think Joe Douglas, Woody Johnson, Robert Saleh, you think they should say, you know what? I'll figure out next year. I'm going to take my second and my third. I'm going to use it to bounce up this year. I'm going to do some stuff, and we're going to make it happen. I'm going to get the two guys that up top in the premium section of the draft and get them in here along with Zeitler and Jonah Williams and Tyler Boyd and Calvin Ridley. We're going to spend and we're going to utilize our assets to win right now. All of it on offense, just like what he said. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm going to pay close attention to this one, and we'll see where it is. With that all said, I hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl. I'm going to go watch it in a little while. I hope you have a good time. Enjoy the week. And with that all said, go Jets.